Welcome back after the OpTic Masterclass. FYI, Falcons won more maps. Yeah, no, the Falcons did. The Falcons did win more maps. I can't take that away from them. They absolutely did. I got nothing to say about that one. They definitely did. Yeah, man, I think OpTic has they're in a weird spot, dude. They just gotta kind of reset a little bit and kind of reevaluate how they play the game. They need Ken to start playing better. They need everyone to play better. But Ken in specific, it just seems like this game is rough for him for whatever reason. I think that he just doesn't understand the flow of this game the way that he needs to. Because it's just, when I brought it up yesterday on the show, those death sprees that he goes on, it just means that he's getting put in the blender. Like, he just doesn't understand his spawns off timing, or he's trying to overcompensate for something. Like, maybe he thinks that he needs to make a play every time when it's not his turn to, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to get to a spot, or he's trying to hit a timing that isn't there because he's not the one that's supposed to do it. But he goes on these death sprees of like 10 plus in a row. It's kind of nuts. So, nah, it really is what it looks like, Vic. That is what it looks like. But yeah, Ken has to play better. They just got to reevaluate how they play the game together, to be honest. They'll figure it out. I don't think there's a world in which they stay this bad. They'll be fine. Like I said it yesterday on the stream during the watch party. I was like, get your laps out while you can, because I feel like they're going to be good, down the line. I agree, Vix. I think he just needs to slow down, dude, personally. I think, because he's kind of... It wasn't the same problem that I had in Vanguard, but he's playing the same that I did in Vanguard when I was underperforming. He just isn't worried about his individual performance enough. I think that's the problem, or one of the problems. I feel like if he was more worried about how he was playing individually, then I think things would turn around for him a little bit more. Like, he just wants his team to play well, and he just wants to win. And I think that, he's trying to skip steps in order to get to that point. And that's kind of how I was in Vanguard again. Like, I was so worried about everybody else and not so much what I was doing. And it was causing us to lose. I'm not saying Ken's the only reason they're losing, but he's a large part of it. So I think if he just slows the game down for himself and worries about his individual play a little bit over the next couple of matches, I think that they'll be fine. A rising tide lifts all ships, brother. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Vix. I think he just needs a good kill whore scrim series for a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Just have just a week where you do absolutely fucking nothing productive except going positive. Genuinely. And that's not even a troll either, because that's what helped me out a lot when I was getting shit on. It's just knowing that you still have that. Just play a week of the most unproductive Call of Duty personally that you possibly can. Just fucking go double positive every map, bro. I think it'll help him. How Neptune and 04 are going wild on the map of subs and getting their ARs right. Do you think Nuke was doing the same, or what's the difference? I agree with what Haggy was trying to say, because that's Haggy's point. I agree with what he's saying, but I don't good players, your teammates playing well are going to make you play well. That's just that's not high level thinking. You know what I mean? It's not that Shotzi and Kyler are having to do all this stuff so that Brandon and Ken can get to their spot. Bro, if Brandon and Ken are frying, then chances are Shotzi and Kyler are also frying. You know what I mean? If your teammates are playing well, the game's just easier. And I get that having good sub pressure puts you in better spots as ARs. I know that. I was an AR player. I understand that concept, but I don't know. I don't want to fault their subs for how their ARs are playing. That seems like an unfair critique. You can't have your individual performance be connected to whether your subs are playing good or bad. I think that's unfair to them. You need to be able to play well individually regardless of how your teammates are playing. That's just what it is. But I do agree that obviously having sub pressure and being AR players is ideal, for sure. Because if you think about the inverse, if your ARs are coming off spawn and getting a kill every life, or killing their AR players, then your subs hypothetically will have more pressure on the map. So it goes both ways. I don't want to sit here and fault again Ant and Kyler for not playing well, or Pred and Ant for not playing well. That seems unfair to me. I hope these guys get better though, because wow. I do hope these sick fucks get better. Jesus Christ. Maybe Ken should switch roles with Pred. I think a role swap is probably more likely if they continue to play poorly before a roster change. I know I said last night, like if Ken keeps playing like this and they go to Major 2 and they get last, I feel like a roster change is on the cards, but I think a role swap would most likely be first. The thing is, the roles in this game are so muddy that I don't know how much it would matter. That, like, there would be moments where AG would pull out an AR and Ken would have a sub in his hands, which AG can use an AR. We saw it a lot last year with like maps like Sub Base and Invasion and all that kind of stuff. Like, AG's capable of it, but the roles in this game are so muddy that everything seems situational. So I'm not quite sure how much of an impact or what percentage of the time they would have a sub versus an AR. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like on red card, chances are AG's already using an AR. On Vault P1, chances are Ken's probably already using a sub. You know what I mean? Like the situations where it's 2-2 seem to be so few and far between right now that I don't know how much a role swap would genuinely matter. I mean, maybe it could, for sure. It's definitely a conversation worth having, but I don't know how much of it really would impact that much. Because this game, you just got to be able to use everything all the time, dude. Hacienda, you got to be able to pull out a sub in every situation. Vault P1, Protocol, you got to be able to pull out ARs on P1. You got to be able to pull out subs on P4. Skyline, use whatever the fuck you want. So I don't know. Maybe the role swap thing is in the cards. I don't know. I feel like it's not as black and white as it is in previous titles, though. Because in previous titles, it's a lot of 2-2 with like situational 3-1 subs. And in this game, it's just kind of whatever you want to use whenever you want to use it. So I don't think roles are as defined right now. Again, that's not to say that it couldn't work, but who knows? It's a weird one. Yeah, I have faith in them to figure it out. It's just ugly right now, for sure. They'll definitely, I mean, they figured it out before. Who's to say they can't do it again? But it's definitely ugly right now. Absolutely. You think Opt will be able to beat Thieves by Major 2? By Major 2? No. I think on LAN, you really never know what's going to happen. Obviously, you can analyze how they're playing logically and say no. But, I mean, it's Call of Duty at the end of the day. It's a day-to-day game, so people show up to events and do random shit all the time, so I'm not going to write them off entirely. But if we're talking about online qualifiers and shit, if they were to play tomorrow, LIT trios them. So I don't know. Nah, Vix. That would be. You really think so, Vix? That would be miserable. Stealthy, thank you, baby. Appreciate you. This can't hit you up at all. I've texted him a little bit on the side, yeah. That's what I said, chat. Like, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to go on the flank because everybody just wants me to put Ken's head on a platter, right? Like that's really what everybody wants because that's the popular thing to do because he's playing badly. And again, I've said, I don't know, 10 fucking times already up to this point that he's playing bad COD. I don't need to sit here and harp on it. It's not like me saying he's playing bad isn't going to make him play better. You know what I mean? But like teaming with him, understanding how he is in a practice environment and as a teammate, and having the anecdotal experience that I do with him puts me in a position where I can understand what he's going through and not create excuses for him, but I know the headspace that he's in and the kind of player that he is. So while he is getting fucking Kentucky fried for sure, I feel like I know why. And people just don't want to hear why. They just want to hear that he's getting shit on. They don't want to go past the surface of him getting fried. That's all it is. So as soon as you start to analyze the game in any way Optic fans immediately don't want to hear it because they just want to hear Herder, Kenny getting shit on, need roster change. Like that's what Optic fans want to hear. They don't want to hear why. They don't want to hear like what is happening to cause these things. They just want to hear Kenny bad. Like that's all they care about. So when I go on the show and like try to have some sort of conversation about it, people don't want to hear it, which I understand. But it's kind of hard to go on there and just brainlessly flame him because that's just not what I want to be doing with my time. Zimmy, thank you. Appreciate the gift. Seth Chat was insane. I don't doubt it, man. Everyone's insane lately. Everybody's insane lately, man. Everyone's losing their mind. I need these guys to get better because Jesus Christ, the world is a worse place when Optic's playing badly.